What's up, YouTube? All you brass lovers out there, welcome to Donalds Trumpets Vintage Horns, the Trumpet Dungeon. Donalds Trumpets, huh? Yep, my dad, Donald, God rest his soul, left me a lot of really cool vintage horns when he passed. So I decided to create this channel in his honor. Don't worry about the brass clanging together, none of your business. But yeah, I decided to create this channel to catalog, create a memory of all these horns. My dad loved trumpet, cornet, blah, blah, blah. I never touched it my whole entire life until I was thrust into this sea of horns. So I've been learning quite a bit and I've been playing and having a blast doing it. So today we'll compare these horns. Let's see what the contenders are, because to me, just right off the bat, they look pretty doggone similar. Look at these lead pipes roller coastering out into infinity and coming back to the horn. What are we looking at here? Well, let's get this guy on the shelf for now. We'll talk about him later. But yeah, so anybody that's familiar with any type of vintage horns, you might automatically, when you see this lead pipe, think of the old Super. But it's not an old Super. This right here that I'm holding in my hand is a HOLTON Resotone Model. And you'll notice the tone ring, that lead pipe that I just mentioned. This is actually, apparently, from what I've read, what Olds copied their Super after. A bunch of thieving crooks. So hey, let's take a look. Let's see if Olds improved on the HOLTON or if they went backwards. Something tells me though, since old Supers wound up becoming much more abundant compared to the HOLTON Resotone, that they may have done something right, but who knows, we'll take a look. But you don't see a lot of these anymore out on the market. This is definitely a really cool piece of history. You know, for a collector or a player, it doesn't really matter. This one right here is serial number 121,000 range. I think this puts this around 1938. So a pretty old horn, 80 years old. And you'll notice for being such a vintage horn, it's in really good shape. This is raw brass, I believe. But yeah, no dents really throughout the horn. There's a little bit of ripples here and there that you'll notice on pretty much any vintage horn. But overall, I mean, phenomenal shape. The engraving on the bell here is pretty much gone back into the brass, right? It's pretty flat. I don't know if it just wasn't stamped or done very thickly at the time, or just through handling over the years. It's about all but gone. You can still see the Resotone name on this tone ring. And tone ring, does it do any difference? I don't really know. But yeah, overall, as I mentioned, pretty good. All the valves have serial numbers on them and they match the horn themselves. Valves are in pretty good shape. I think our man Trent Austin would probably say using some thicker valve oil on a model like this. Compression is definitely not towards the high end of the range, but not the low end either. It's, yeah, I'd say just so-so. Let's hear some of the pops here. So pretty decent pop on that one there. Yeah, it's all right. But without further ado, let's jump in. We'll do my my song "When I Fall in Love." As I mentioned, 5 months in, so I don't have a huge repertoire. Hopefully it'll expand over time, or at least the ones that I do know will get better. So let's jump into this. "When I Fall in Love." Model 24, and now the old Super. And this old Super right here, this is a pretty old one too. This is 20,000 serial number. So this is from the Los Angeles factory and probably from the mid 40s, it's my guess, or late 40s. But nevertheless, a pretty old horn. No pop there on this one. Let's do it. find some playing differences throughout the two. I can't tell on that upper register if it's my lack of knowledge or the horn itself. Oh, one difference I noticed on the olds compared to the resotone. That has the trombone water key on there. The resotone is in the traditional style. But, what would your take be on the two horns? This one definitely does not feel as beefy in the hands. They both sound good, but I would have to go with the old Super, if I'm being honest with you. But, you know, again, to each their own. And usually, when you have to come down to it, the sound is not the only thing. You'll have to go through the price of it as well. You can usually pick these up cheaper than the old Supers. I think it's just a cool piece of history in general. You don't see these very much. Definitely a rare horn. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you like vintage horns, you come to the right place. And as you can kind of probably get the idea, there's plenty of content that's going to be released in the future. So this is all brand new. I do not pretend to be an expert on how to play or these horns, but I'm learning fast or quickly, right? So, but I'm interested in your suggestions, your comments, anything you might be able to add on these horns. Make sure to put it in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed yet within the last 20 seconds, do it now. Just hit that button. It's not that hard. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.